All right, so welcome to our deep dive. And today we are going to be talking about numerology.
Oh, fun.
Yeah, specifically the number 4.
Oh, very cool.
And we're going to look at, I mean, if you're into numerology, obviously you know that it's about understanding
Hmm.
certain energies and patterns that shape our lives.
Yes.
But even if you're not super into numerology,
Hmm.
I think there are some fascinating takeaways
Oh, absolutely.
that we can all use to kind of build that solid foundation in whatever area of life you're looking at.
For
But
sure.
we'll also be looking at, kind of the more spiritual side of things, like what it
Ugh.
means when you see repeating fours, like 44, 444, 4444.
Yeah. Yeah, those are always very powerful.
Yeah, so I'm really excited to dive in.
Two.
So when it comes to numerology, what is it about the number 4 that makes it so significant?
Well, in numerology, each number vibrates at a certain frequency
Mm.
and carries a unique symbolism.
Uh,
And the number 4 is very much associated with practicality and discipline and stability and a really strong connection to the earth element.
Oh, okay.
So think about it, like the four corners of a house,
Oh, yeah.
the four seasons in a year,
Hmm.
the four elements.
Right.
It's all about like that solid base, establishing that solid base.
So does that mean if you're someone with like a life path 4, that you're super organized,
Love.
like a color-coded calendar kind of person?
Not necessarily,
Right.
although organization can definitely be a strength. It's more about how that grounded, practical energy
Mm-hmm.
manifests in different areas of life.
Okay.
So, someone with a life path 4 might be drawn to a career that involves building and creating things, like an architect or a sculptor. They
Interesting.
might find fulfillment in creating systems and structures in their work, in their personal lives, in their routines.
Yeah, so it's not just like having a tidy desk,
Mm.
but it's about that inherent desire to create order and stability in the world around them.
Exactly.
Okay, that makes total sense. And it's important to remember these are just general tendencies.
Right.
How that number 4 influences someone will also depend on other factors in their numerology chart.
Their whole blueprint.
Right, so it's not like a one-size-fits-all kind of thing.
It's not a cookie cutter.
Okay, and speaking of like different numerological aspects,
Yes.
we have life path, we have expression, we've got soul urge, we even have birthday numbers.
We do.
What is the difference between these and how do they all relate to this
Okay.
idea of building a solid foundation?
So think of your numerology chart as a blueprint of your soul's potential.
Okay,
Okay, each aspect reveals a different layer of your being.
okay.
So your life path number, as we've discussed, represents your overall journey, the
Mm.
lessons you're here to learn.
Hmm.
Your expression number highlights your talents, how you express yourself out in the world.
Okay.
Your soul urge number speaks to your deepest desires and motivations. And then your birthday number adds another layer of nuance that can influence certain personality traits.
Okay, so that's a lot to unpack, but I know some people listening
Yeah.
are probably like, okay, if I wanted to dig deeper,
Yeah.
where do I even begin? Can you give us an example, like a quick example maybe?
Sure, absolutely. So let's say someone's birthday is December 12th, 1988.
Okay,
So to calculate their life path number, you would reduce each component to a single digit
okay,
and add them together.
got it.
So December is the 12th month, which reduces to 1 plus 2 equals 3.
Mhm.
The day is 12, which reduces to 3.
All right.
The year, 1988, 1 plus 9 plus 8 is 26, which reduces to 8.
Okay.
And then we add all those digits together. 3 plus 3 plus 8 is 14, which reduces to 5.
Okay,
So in this example, the life path number would be 5.
got it. So even though there's a 4 in their birth year,
Yes,
it doesn't mean they have a life path 4.
exactly. It's
Yeah.
the final reduced digit that matters.
That makes sense.
And this is just one aspect of a complete numerology reading.
Right, so we've talked about this grounded, solid, stable energy of the number 4.
Right.
But what happens when we see repeating 4s?
Ooh.
Like we see 4, 4, 444, even 444.
Yeah.
I've always been so intrigued by repeating numbers as like messages,
Yes.
What do you make of that?
Well, repeating numbers are often seen as signs from the universe,
Okay.
a way of nudging us to pay attention to something specific.
Oh, wow.
So think of it like a flashing neon sign
Oh.
trying to get your attention.
Okay, so it's not just a coincidence.
Right.
When you keep seeing the same number over and over again.
Many people believe there's a deeper meaning
Okay.
behind these numerical synchronicities.
And when it comes to the number 4,
Yes.
what do these repeating sequences actually mean?
So let's start with 4. 4.
Okay.
This is considered a master number in numerology,
Okay.
often referred to as the master builder, which takes the already potent energy of the number 4 and amplifies it,
Wow. Okay.
suggesting a powerful potential for creating something truly extraordinary.
So it's not just like 4 times 2.
Right.
It's like this higher calling of using your practical skills
Is.
to create something truly meaningful.
Exactly. It's about aligning your talents and ambitions with a greater purpose,
Mm-hmm.
something that contributes to the world in a significant way,
Wow.
and having that divine support to see those ambitions through.
Okay.
So think of it like having a team of spiritual guides
Yeah.
cheering you on and making sure that you stay on track.
I love that. So you have like your own personal cheer squad.
You do.
But I think some people might find the idea of predetermined life paths and spiritual guides a bit limiting.
Right.
What are your thoughts on that?
Well, numerology is not about limitations, it's about potential.
Okay.
It's about understanding the energies that are at play in your life
Mm-hmm.
and using that knowledge to make more conscious choices. So whether you believe in spiritual guides or not, the message of 4-4 is about stepping into your power,
Okay.
using your skills to create something that matters.
That makes sense. So we've got the master builder energy.
Yes,
What about seeing 444?
444 is often seen as a very reassuring sign from your guardian angels,
Okay.
letting you know that you are on the right path, you're surrounded by love and support.
Ah,
It's a gentle reminder to trust the process, even when things feel challenging or uncertain.
yeah, I've heard people describe seeing 444 as like getting a warm hug from the universe.
Yes, yes.
Like that feeling of you're not alone, everything is unfolding as it should.
Exactly. It's a reminder to stay grounded in the present moment
Mm-hmm.
and have faith that you are being guided towards your highest good.
Okay, so we've got the master builder, we've got the angelic reassurance.
Mm-hmm.
What about the grand finale?
Okay.
444.
All right. 444.
I have to admit that one feels pretty powerful.
It does. It takes that energy to a whole new level. It's like the universe is sending you a cosmic telegram,
Wow.
urging you to take action and step into your full potential.
Oh, wow.
It's a sign that you're aligned with divine timing
Okay.
and that your efforts are about to manifest in a big way.
So it's not just about sitting back and waiting for things to happen,
Right.
but taking inspired action
Yes.
and trusting that the universe has your back.
It does.
Wow. So seeing 444 is like a green light from the cosmos?
Yes.
Like a confirmation you're ready to move forward with your dreams and ambitions.
Exactly. But manifestation requires both action and alignment.
Okay.
So it's about finding that sweet spot
Mm.
between effort and surrender,
Right.
knowing when to push forward and when to let go.
That makes sense. So whether you're drawn to the practical stability of a single 4
Mm-hmm.
or the amplified energy of these repeating sequences,
Yes.
it seems like the core message is all about building that solid foundation
Yeah.
for a more fulfilling life.
Yeah.
And that foundation is built on principles like grounding, planning, discipline,
Yeah.
trust, balance.
Yes. All very important.
And these are universal concepts that anyone can apply regardless of your numerology chart.
Absolutely.
I love that. It's not just about the numbers themselves, but it's about the wisdom they represent.
Yes.
And on that note, we'll be right back to explore how we can practically incorporate these principles into our daily lives.
That's good.
Stay tuned.
All right, so welcome back. We've explored what makes the number 4 so special in numerology, and we've touched on those fascinating repeating 4s, and even learned how to calculate a life path number.
Yeah, it's been really interesting. And I think what's really cool is that even if you're not a numerology expert, or even if you're a bit skeptical about the whole thing, those core principles that we talked about, grounding, planning, discipline, trust, and balance, are pretty universally applicable.
I agree. That's one of the things I find so fascinating about numerology, It provides a framework for understanding these universal truths in a new light. It's like using a different lens to view the same landscape.
Right, right. I like that analogy. So let's shift our focus now to practical application. Like, how can our listeners actually take these principles and incorporate them into their daily lives?
Okay, so one of the most powerful practices for cultivating the energy of the number 4 is grounding.
Grounding, like literally standing barefoot on the earth.
That's one way to do it. But grounding is essentially about being present in your body, connected to the physical world, feeling rooted and stable, like a tree with deep roots that can weather any storm.
So it's about finding that sense of inner peace and stillness, even amidst the chaos of everyday life.
Exactly. And there are so many ways to cultivate that grounded energy. Spending time in nature, as you mentioned, is incredibly powerful. But you can also practice grounding through meditation, yoga, deep breathing exercises, or even just taking a few moments to consciously connect with your physical sensations.
Yeah, I've been trying to incorporate more mindfulness into my daily routine, just taking a few minutes each morning to sit quietly and focus on my breath. And it definitely helps me feel more centered, less reactive throughout the day.
That's wonderful. Even small, consistent practices can make a huge difference. And remember, grounding isn't about escaping reality.
Right.
It's about anchoring yourself in the present moment so you can navigate life's challenges with more clarity and resilience.
So grounding is key for cultivating that solid foundation. What else can we do to kind of tap into this energy?
So the number 4 thrives on structure and order. Creating a plan is essential for channeling that focused energy effectively.
So it's not just about going with the flow. There's a certain level of discipline involved.
Discipline is definitely a key aspect of the number 4, but it's not about being rigid or restrictive. It's about having that commitment to follow through on your intentions and create a structure that supports your goals.
I've always been a big fan of to-do lists. There's something so satisfying about checking things off and seeing that tangible progress. Does that kind of fall under that umbrella of planning and discipline?
Absolutely. To-do lists, calendars, schedules, these are all tools that can help you channel the energy of the number 4. The key is to find a system that works for you and stick with it.
Consistency is key, right?
Mhm.
It's not about being perfect. It's about showing up day after day, even when you don't feel like it.
Exactly. And remember, building a solid foundation takes time and effort. It's a process, not a destination.
Right. That brings us to another principle we mentioned earlier, trust. How does trust play into this whole foundation building process? I mean, it's one thing to make a plan and stay disciplined, but what about when things don't go according to plan?
That's where trust becomes essential. It's about surrendering the need to control every outcome and having faith that things are unfolding as they should, even when you can't see the bigger picture.
That's definitely easier said than done sometimes, especially in today's fast-paced, constantly changing world. Any tips for cultivating more trust?
One practice that I find helpful is focusing on gratitude. When you shift your attention to what you're grateful for, it helps you release worry and cultivate a sense of peace and acceptance. It's about trusting that the universe has your back even when things feel uncertain.
So it's about finding that balance between taking action and surrendering to the unknown.
Exactly. And that brings us to our final principle, balance. The number 4, with its 4 sides, represents stability and balance. And that's not just about external balance, it's also about finding that equilibrium within ourselves, mentally, emotionally, physically, and spiritually.
So it's about taking care of your overall well-being, not just focusing on one area of life to the detriment of others.
Precisely. When we're in alignment with our values and nurturing all aspects of ourselves, we create a solid foundation for sustainable success and happiness.
Yeah, this has been so insightful, but I have to admit, sometimes these principles can feel a bit overwhelming. It's like, okay, I need to ground myself, make a plan, stay disciplined, trust the process, and find balance. Where do I even begin?
That's a great question. Remember, it's not about doing everything perfectly all at once. Start small. Choose one principle that resonates with you and focus on incorporating it into your life in a meaningful way.
So maybe I could start by committing to a daily grounding practice, even if it's just for 5 minutes. Or maybe I could work on creating a more structured schedule for my week.
Those are great examples. And as you build consistency in one area, you'll find that it naturally spills over into other areas of your life.
It's like that ripple effect. Small changes can create big waves.
Exactly. And remember, building a solid foundation is a lifelong journey. It's not about reaching a destination. It's about the ongoing process of growth and evolution.
Okay, this is all starting to click. Grounding, planning, discipline, trust, balance. It's like a recipe for creating a more stable and fulfilling life.
And the beauty of it is that these principles can be applied to any area of your life. Your relationships, your career, your health, your spiritual journey. It's about finding what works for you and creating a life that feels aligned and authentic.
This has been incredibly enlightening, but before we wrap up, I want to circle back to something you mentioned earlier about seeing those repeating fours as messages from the universe.
Yeah.
Can you elaborate on how we can actually interpret those messages and apply them to our lives?
Welcome back to the deep dive. We've covered so much ground today, exploring the energy of the number 4 and practical ways to kind of incorporate its wisdom in those really intriguing
Hmm?
repeating 4 sequences.
Yeah, it's been a fascinating journey, and I
Yeah.
hope our listeners are feeling inspired to apply some of these insights to their own lives.
Me too, me too. And speaking of those repeating 4s you mentioned earlier,
Yes.
that they can be seen as messages from the universe.
Mhm.
I'm curious, like, how can we actually interpret those messages and use them
Right?
to guide our actions? Think of those repeating numbers as cosmic whispers, nudging you to pay attention.
Look.
They're often like a confirmation that you're on the right track or just a gentle reminder to stay grounded and
Mhm.
trust the process.
So it's not like they're going to spell out a step-by-step plan for your life.
No, not exactly. It's more about like tuning into your intuition and noticing the synchronicities that unfold around you.
Interesting.
So, for example, if you're feeling uncertain about a decision and you keep seeing 444,
Okay.
it could be a sign to trust your gut and move forward with confidence.
Interesting.
Or if you're feeling overwhelmed and you keep seeing 4444, it might be a reminder to prioritize your well-being and create more structure in your life.
Okay, so it's about paying attention to those subtle cues and using them to inform our choices.
Precisely. It's about developing a deeper connection with your intuition and trusting
Okay,
that the universe is guiding you towards your highest good.
that makes sense. It's not about seeking external validation, but rather listening to that inner voice and trusting that you have the wisdom to navigate your own path.
Exactly. And remember, those repeating numbers are often a sign of divine support.
Okay.
It's a reminder that you're not alone on this journey.
I find that so comforting. It's like knowing you have this team of unseen cheerleaders
Yes.
rooting for your success.
They're always there, whether you're consciously aware of them or not.
This has been such an insightful deep dive.
Ah,
I feel like I have a whole new perspective on the number 4 and
and
its power to create a more stable and fulfilling life.
it's been my pleasure sharing these insights with you and with our listeners. And remember, numerology is just one tool for self-discovery.
Right.
The real magic happens when you take these principles and apply them in a way that feels authentic to you.
So whether you're a numerology enthusiast or just someone seeking more grounding and purpose, we hope this deep dive has provided some valuable takeaways for you.
Absolutely. And if you're feeling inspired to learn more about numerology, there are countless resources available online, in bookstores.
Oh, yeah, for sure. And you can always calculate your own numerology chart for free online. It's such a fun way to explore those different aspects we talked about.
Yeah.
Your life path, your expression, your soul urge,
Right.
your birthday number.
Absolutely.
It's a fascinating journey
It is.
of self-discovery.
It is.
And who knows, maybe you'll start noticing those repeating numbers popping up everywhere you go.
Laughs.
Just remember to pay attention and trust the messages that they're trying to convey.
They might just lead you to some unexpected and wonderful places.
Thank you so much for joining us today on this deep dive into numerology and the number 4. We encourage you to explore these concepts further. See how you can integrate this wisdom into your own life.
Yes.
What area of your life could benefit from more structure and grounded energy right now?
Yeah, that's a good question.
We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences. Thanks for tuning in. And until next time, keep diving deep.